Well, as fall-like temperatures fill the air, it also begins to creep into our homes, so it only makes sense to check the air that we're all breathing inside our homes, especially as the seasons are changing. And that's exactly what AirSense Environmental can do for you. Jake Lusby is here to tell us more, and we welcome you in this morning.
Thanks for having us back.
How does indoor air quality, I don't think we think about that much. We talk a lot about pollution and ozone and all these things outdoors, but indoor air quality can impact our overall health and productivity. How?
Yeah, so like you said, most people think the outside air is much more dirty than the inside air when actually, in fact, it's the opposite. So usually with today's building standards, things that get into your home or we bring into our home, they stay there. So things like VOCs, volatile organic compounds, candles, aerosols, dust and particulates, carbon dioxide, those things get trapped and unfortunately lead to poor health conditions inside our actual homes. They lead to things like asthma attacks, trouble breathing, skin condition, all sort of things. So it's important to try to get those things back outside.
Yeah. So what specific pollutants and contaminants are we talking about that can be particularly
so dust and particulates and things that are microscopic that you can't see, they float around your home and you breathe them in and they get stuck and trapped inside your lungs. Volatile organic compounds, or VOCs, are things that come from like off-gassing of furniture, carpet. Absolutely, So,
and that stuff's there. It doesn't come and go. It doesn't pick it up from outside and bring it in. For sure. I mean, we do that.
Definitely.
But I've heard about the carpet glue and the things.
We paint, stains, lacquers, cabinets, all sorts of things. Those actually off-gas. And because, again, new construction techniques, the home is so tight, they can't get back out. So
what about pollen?
Pollen, we drag those things in when we open doors. A lot of those types of things.
So what are the most effective solutions and technologies that you guys are using?
The number one thing that we recommend to people is a combination of an ERV, and I'll talk about that in a second, and a particulate filter. And an ERV is an energy recovery ventilation system, and basically what it does, the simplest terms, it takes a lot of stale air out of the home, and it brings in fresh air at the same time. And so we're taking that dirty stale air, we're trading it essentially for fresh air, and it drastically increases the overall air quality inside the home.
So, and the other one was what?
It's a particulate filter, so we replace...
I want to come back to that, because what you're talking about then is we have a cold air return in our furnace systems. If you look up there, occasionally, I can tell you ours are filthy. We just the other day looked up there and I went, ooh, we got to clean that. We're just taking the same air and recirculating it through our systems. You're talking about bringing fresh air from outside. And filtering it. That's the particulate. All right, let's talk about that.
So those two things in combination with one another can reduce dust and particulate matters inside the home by up to 98%. Again, I'm taking not all of it, but I'm taking a portion of that stale, yucky air out of the house. I'm bringing in fresh air, and as I'm putting that fresh air through, I've now installed that media particulate filter, which is about 6 to 7 times the size of a normal filter. It's a lot wider, a lot deeper. It's got a lot more surface area to catch that stuff as it comes in through the house. And so those two things in combination with one another are awesome.
Now, the filter can be very effective, right? Because I have that in my HVAC system. But if you doubt that it's not getting the job done, look at your cold air returns. I'm telling you, mine are filthy. Or your bathroom fan. They tend to, that's all stuff that's just been recirculating in your home. You're talking about bringing in fresh air and filtering it at the same time. Looks like and if you're using the kind of filters that you get at the hardware store and not the type that you're talking about, you're not even getting the filtering to begin with. So to bring in the fresh air, that's like a double whammy, man. It's going to make a big difference.
You see that stuff built up, and it's just because it's circulated in your home so long, it can't go anywhere. So eventually it sticks.
Well, get this. Right now, AirSense Environmental is giving away a free IAQ test to the first 10 callers. The number to call, 314-804-7862. You can also visit airsenseenvironmental.com and you can get more information. Doesn't that sound like it? Doesn't that make perfect sense to you, Laura?
It does. And as a homeowner, I just learned a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
So thank you, you guys.